Well, welcome back. Zach actually was doing his job. He just didn't get him out here in time for me. So we're going to have a couple more guys here talking about the South Dakota Governor's Bass Cup, the 4th annual. I'm sitting here with Terry Laverick. I believe you're representing Kansas this week, correct? Or are you from, where are you from now?
I'm from
South Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought, okay.
Nope.
Never mind. That was somebody else. So sorry. But so Terry's got kind of a unique story. He fished the TBF. We talked a little bit ago with Eric Storm about the Bass Nation, but TBF, and you made it last year to the BF All American. So let's tell us about that first, and let's hear what that experience is like and how you got there.
So the All American, there's 7 divisions in the TBF, and I represented the Northern Division. So back up a little bit, in 2023 in the fall, we went to Okoboji, Iowa, and fished Okoboji, and I was the top angler for South Dakota. I placed 10th, which I wasn't in the money, but I was the top South Dakota guy.
So you were a co-angler,
yep,
correct?
I was a co-angler.
So in the TBF, you have a boater and a co.
Yes.
Okay, so you were the top co-angler.
Yep, from South Dakota.
Yep.
So then for that, I got to represent South Dakota at Sam Rayburn in 2024. So I was in the Northern Division, which consists of Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana. And there was, I think, 10 other co-anglers. And so the top co-angler from the Northern Division moved on to the All-American if you paid your dues. And so I won for the Northern Division, which has never been done by anybody from South Dakota. So I was the first one to do that. Then I had paid my entry fee for the All-American before I went to that tournament, and winning. I got 6th place in the national tournament for co-anglers.
For BFL?
For BFL.
And the BFL. So you ended up
not BFL, but for the TBF.
To TBF,
yep.
To get to the BFL.
Yep. So then I went to the All-American, which was held on Lake Cherokee in Tennessee, and I got 9th place.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and how many teams are at the BFL?
So there's like 50 individuals. And so they take the top 10 to the last day. So I was in contention to win the whole thing, because I was sitting in 9th, and fishing was really tough. And I caught 1 fish and I stayed in 9th, but about 3 more bites and I could have been right up there in the top.
So when you went to the BFL, were you in your own boat or still a co-angler?
Still a co-angler.
Still a co-angler.
Yep.
So you had your pro, and then in that, so people don't know, because like I said, a lot of our fans are walleye guys. Your pro has his fish, you have your fish,
exactly.
Right? So you're not sharing weights. You have your own weight out there on these. So
you've got to catch your own fish.
Yeah.
And like at the All-American, there was only 4 limits caught by the co-anglers, and I was lucky enough to catch 1 of them.
Oh.
And I did it the first day.
So starting in grassroots, being a co-angler, don't even got to bring a boat. Just got to sign up and be there.
Yeah.
You got to bring some gear. You got to bring your own stuff. But you go out there and you fish with these guys who make it to the BFL All-American.
Yep.
What did that mean to you?
It was quite the experience. I mean, even like when I was down at Sam Rayburn, so the first day I caught a limit, and I was leading the Northern Division, and the guy that I drew was from Connecticut the second day, and he blanked the first day. So, and he had been to the All-American before as a boater, and he says, it's a big deal. So he goes, my job is to get you 5 fish, put you in position. Well, we started the day off, and he put a limit in the boat, and I hadn't caught a keeper. And he goes, I got 1 bedded fish. I'm going to take it to her. You can throw at her. And, it's just a 2-pounder. Well, we went in there, and she was skittish. There was hardly any water there. And there was a bunch of trees that were coming out of the creek. And he turned around, and and I picked up a spinnerbait. And 11:30, I had 0 fish in the live well. By 12:20, I had my 5. And then, so he did everything he could to get me to the All-American because, like I said, he'd been there twice, and he said it's quite impressive, and it was. I mean, when I went in there, a lot of the pros know each other, so they're chit chatting, and here's a guy from the TBF there, and I'm kind of looking around and thinking, I don't know how I can handle fishing with these guys, and the guys that I drew were really, really good fishermen, and they had their agenda, but like I kind of looked at it like last year, if I won, you would have won 50,000, which is a pretty good chunk of change.
Yeah.
But the pro, if they win, it's 120,000 plus they move up to the
MLF.
MLF.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to the pros. To me, it's just it's a big tournament, but it's not like it's gonna further my career as a fisherman. I just like to go fishing.
But I mean, it's something to come from South Dakota to make it all the way to that ordeal.
Yeah.
And be the first guy ever to do it. And you walk in there and you're in a room of people that do this for a living.
Yep.
From all over the country, and you take 9th place overall. That's I mean, and we all know, like the walleye world, you're kind of relying on what your pro, where they take you.
Yep.
But difference is you still had to catch your fish.
Yep.
And there could be days you outweigh your pro.
Yep.
Because he's not telling you, here's your rod.
No.
You do what you want to do in the back of that boat.
Exactly. And the thing about it was, my guy, the first day that I had at the All-American, he actually pulled up in an area I'd practiced in. So I kind of knew what was going on and what the bite was going to be like. And we stayed there long enough that I had 4 smallmouth and a largemouth in my bag. And I had just shy of 10 pounds, which actually had me in second place after day 1.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that tough.
So come up from that. Now you're here at the South Dakota Governor's Bass Cup. Have you ever fished? I think you fished this before.
No,
correct?
I haven't.
This is your first one.
This is my first one.
So fished the Wahi before?
Oh yeah, I've got 20 some years experience on Hawaii.
So what's your expectations? What are you thinking? What's your outlook for this tournament going to be?
Somebody's going to catch some pretty good fish. I don't know.
Eric Storm said we could possibly see a dirty 30.
I don't know.
And he said it's going to be, he said a 25-pound bag he thinks we're going to see 50 pounds to win it.
Yep.
But he said there could be a possibility of a dirty 30 out there.
I'm not on that fish. I can tell you that right now. We're not on that fish, but I can see 20. I can see 25.
Remember, we're weighing 6. So,
yeah.
Most of your events you weigh 5. We're weighing 6.
Yeah. I really think whoever wins this hasn't been on the fish yet.
Really?
Yeah. They're changing daily and they're pulling up. I'm seeing more and more beds. I'm seeing more and more bigger fish. I belong to a little bass club and they came up last weekend and 21 pounds on 5 won it. And the guy he had a 6-pounder in his bag.
So that was the other question I asked Eric. I said, do you think we could see the state record possibly be broken this weekend?
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
I doubt it. I mean, that's
7.2 is a big bass.
Yeah.
I mean, big smallie. Yeah. But I mean,
is it here? Yes, that fish is in this lake.
Yeah. Troy caught that in July.
Yeah.
And the only thing we have going is most of these fish probably should be pre-spawn.
Yeah. The only thing is, it seems like from my experience, is those bigger fish pull up earlier than these.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've seen years where, like the first part of May, you see a big wad of 5-pound plus fish up, and they're here and then they're gone.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not like you can go back and hammer on those fish for week after week after week. They just seem like they come up a little bit earlier than the other, fish.
I don't know anything about these smallmouth other than they're fun to catch.
They are fun.
And I would love to see 25. I'd love to see 50 pounds for 6 bass win this thing.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, because it's not going to be easy, but I really think that there's going to be somebody that's going to pull up, and they're not going to do it in one spot. They're going to have to cover a lot of water.
Well, I really think your comment of the guys who probably win this thing are going to be fish they haven't fished is really interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's been guys out here all week practicing and finding fish, and it's changing that fast right now.
Yeah.
Is basically what I got off your comment.
Yeah. Because I just started seeing some beds yesterday. I've been here since Wednesday, and I started seeing them bedded, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, there's just a lot of beds.
Really?
Yeah.
So I know last week we were looking in the mid 40 water temp.
Yep.
Wednesday night we heard it was 51. What are you seeing now for water temp out there?
I've seen as high as 60. Somebody told me they saw some 65. I haven't seen that.
So I mean
60.
We're talking 40 to 60 degree water temp. I mean 44 to 60 degree water temp. 60 degree temperature change in a week.
Yep.
I mean, I talked to a guy, was it yesterday, and he's like, this lake is about to pop off on all fish.
Yeah.
And I think I think we're in that transitional swing right now.
Because I know I got a friend that guides walleyes down here, and he said down on this end it's hard to find something good.
Yeah.
But I saw that there's a tournament out in Mobridge, and the top 3 teams had 25 pounds.
Yeah. It's 22 pounds to make the top 10 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but those fish aren't, if they were down here, they're not finding those type of fish.
No, in this southern end always starts up a little later. And, we generally in the walleye world, it's that June, first, second week of June is when they start rolling down here, because then fish actually start sliding back down after spawn. And yeah, I mean, but these smallies live here. I mean, and they're here. And, like Eric said, we got people that are like, oh, I can't fish it because Lake Oahu's too big or whatever. And this lake, like Shane said, he goes, you can drive 80 miles, you can drive 20 miles, we can fish right outside the boat ramp and catch these bass.
Yep.
They're not everywhere, but once you find them, you're into fish.
Yeah.
So are you experiencing like 40, 50 fish days?
I'm getting there.
Getting there?
Yeah. No, I mean, my partner and I, we split up, and so we practiced different stuff. And I went to some stuff that I usually don't fish, and I found I didn't find a lot of fish there, but I found some nice ones. But those fish that I found Wednesday and even yesterday, I don't know if they'll be there to come tomorrow or Friday or Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, they're changing that fast, right? I mean, so you might find a whole new spot, or different fish that are up there.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the interesting thing about fishing is, you can be on the winning spot, not know it, leave, and somebody comes in and beats you there. They catch the winning fish off of what you started on, just because they threw something different than you did, or it was a timing thing, so it's
so what, without giving too much away, what do you think is going to be the winning technique? Because Eric said they can throw a jerk bait, you can throw a Ned rig, you can drop shot them. It doesn't matter right now.
Yeah. I've
probably somebody's confidence bait is what's probably gonna,
Yeah. The Ned's been has done well. I've been catching them on some top water.
Really?
Yeah. Swim baits is playing. Cincos, you can't go wrong with a Cinco right now. I haven't thrown the drop shot that much. The Ned's been probably one of my go-to. But when I was just covering water, I threw a spinnerbait a lot. I caught a fish or two with a spinnerbait, but that didn't seem to be, the ideal thing. But I was looking for more of, I was just looking for things where they're going to bed.
Yeah.
You know, and so I found some fish on beds, but you know, the thing about it is how many other guys found the same stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
32 teams going out tomorrow. Terry, we appreciate you sitting down with us tonight and giving us your BFL story. That's pretty interesting. Congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
hopefully we hand you some hardware on Sunday.
I hope so.
What a follow-up to your last season with the BFL. So
yeah, I would be pretty happy.
Well, we appreciate you. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll be checking in on you all weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later.